I'm really noticing this now. There's way too much stuff out there on nasal breathing. I'm watching people completely screw up their ability to respond to pH changes associated with different fuel systems and intensities. And their big brain is getting in the way of their old brain, which already knows how to read chemoreceptors and how to protect the vital organs and how to be able to handle the situation in order to keep us functioning.
Yeah.
And the big brain's getting in the way of the old brain.
It's great that you're getting onto that topic. I had the same exchange with Dr. Jerome Dempsey not too long ago. And he said he was flabbergasted at the fact that some people practice breathing through their nose only. And he just didn't understand that it was even a thing. Just from a morphological standpoint, the size of the airway through the nasal cavity is much smaller than the one through the mouth. And so, especially when you're talking about high volumes of air moved per minute, you can't even, imagine doing that through the nose. Do you think there's, to maybe play devil's advocate on that, do you think there's any benefit to using it maybe as a regulatory tool for intensity on low intensity days, or any other practical application of nasal breathing as such?
I appreciate the question because, I get asked this all the time because I can spot it. I can bring up the results and I'm going, you're breathing 12 breaths a minute. You're just intentionally trying to screw things up in your systems. The response in most cases that I get is the fact that it helps regulate my breathing and I can breathe slower. I said, okay, you can breathe slower because you got two small pipes leading into your lungs versus one large pipe. So it takes longer and more pressure to be able to get it through there. So yes, you'll breathe slower, but can you not open your mouth and breathe slower? Of course they can.
You could.
Of course you can. And just following Bernoulli's law, it makes more sense to open the big hole in the front of your face, not the two small ones, and breathe through that more slowly. So I just tell people that use the metronome, I want you to breathe around 24 breaths a minute, set a metronome for 24 breaths. Don't pay attention to your cadence on your bike. Don't pay attention to your cadence of your running. Understand which physiological system that you're using and what's really required, because I try and teach people that in zone 2 and 3 in particular, and most of 4, it's really O2 delivery greater than CO2 expulsion. But when you're in zone 5, the role of the lungs that people forget, it's mainly maintaining pH and being able to get the systems to work really well to be able to deal with all these free hydrogen ions or whether you agree that it's an inorganic phosphate or whatever, because there's so much controversy right now, but whatever is causing you to shut down, your breathing mechanism is what's going to be able to help you survive up there. And I see people trying to hang on to nasal breathing all the way through zone 5, and they're at 20 some breaths a minute, and you go, well, why did you quit? Well, my legs got sore. And you go, yeah, no wonder. Like your pH levels you must be completely acidotic. And then I have to undo the whole lactic acid causes muscle soreness. I have to undo all of that all the time. But is there any true advantage to breathing through your nose? No, I don't think so. The classic ones that you hear is the fact that it warms and cleans. And you're going, well, when you're moving at a fast pace, I tell you, it's not going to do a very good job of warming.
What about everyday life, walking around?
Yes. Yeah. With people, like we do RMRs all the time, right? So a completely resting test, 10 minutes. And I'm watching people breathe, I'm not joking, 20, 26 breaths a minute in a reclined position for 10 minutes, breathing 0.5, 0.6 of a liter. You're going, what's the sense of even having 2 lungs if this is the way you're going to breathe? So this is where the kind of that yoga style breathing, the concentration on your belly moving out when you're breathing in, breathing through your nose to try and just trying to learn to move larger volumes and slow down your breathing works really well. It's the application to exercise where they don't understand the physiology and what's required of the respiratory system. The roles change completely.
Right. So yeah. So at rest and during exercise are two different beasts, and you have to bring the right tool to the fight, so to speak. And so when you're resting, it's cool to breathe through your nose, calms you down, all those great things. Again, lots of things behind that, but we'll keep it simple. And then you want to bring the big gun to the big fight when you have to push, and you need air in and air out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that makes sense.